Do you want to know how to create a really great relationship with your partner? I say all the time that great relationships aren't built in a day. Great relationships are built daily. And the way to get there is through something called micro-connections. You know, we connect all the time with our partners on the bigger things, whether or not to buy a house and what to do, maybe to do with investments and what school the kids should go to or whether to have a kid. Or, you know, these are times when often couples are pretty good and can come together in a pretty major way, but they still find that the day-to-day they don't feel connected. And that's because of these micro connections being missing. So I want you to think of them on a couple levels. One is really three, not one, not two. So one is on the physical level. Micro connections all day on the physical level are really important. Kissing your partner before they go off to work maybe, or just when you wake up in the morning, or when you go to sleep at night, or during the day, touching them. Just skin-to-skin contact releases a hormone called oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone, so you can't beat it. Also releases vasopressin, which is a hormone that helps us relax. So it is a great, and if you've probably noticed that if you ever touch someone when you're talking to them, if they're upset, they seem to visibly relax a bit. And that's because of that. So you really want to use touch a lot. It's a micro connection, you know, just give a little squeeze. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but intentionally think of that all the time. The second way I want you to think about micro connections besides physical is what I would call spiritual, meaning that you set an intention often to connect, that you put that energy out in the universe, that you want to connect with your partner because they will pick up on it. You know your partner has come home in a really bad mood and you didn't even see them come in yet and you could feel it. You were in the other end of the house and you knew they were in a bad mood. You know that has happened. Or you walk in a room and you can kind of feel it. That is because of what they are putting out, this energy that they are putting out. And so you're picking up on it. That's what's happening. And they're picking up on yours. So when you set that intention, when you set that right on the money, that's what really changes things. I have a whole video, which you can see below or over or somewhere, called the 18-second shift, which is all about setting intention if you want to learn more about that, because it is a game changer. But having that sort of spiritual thought, or even every morning, another way to do this, or an additional way, is to just think good thoughts about your partner. You know, wake up in the morning and think of all the things you love about them, what you appreciate. Maybe text them the 3 things you're grateful for about them, or you appreciate about them that day. Anything to just get the love moving, get the mojo moving, which is wonderful. And then the last way is in other kinds of connections. So whenever your partner makes a bid, this is from marriage guru John Gottman, he talks about bids a lot. Again, I'll have a link here about bids below if you want to know more about making and answering bids, but they are very important in relationships, since basically anytime your partner is making any sort of suggestion to you, commenting on something, asking a question, any of those things, they're making a bid for your attention. And you can lean into the bid or you can lean out of the bid. And couples who lean in, the research shows, are married longer, happier in their marriages, et cetera, in their relationships. You don't have to be married for this. And so really what it is anything. If your partner says, look at that bird, that's an interesting bird. Your job is not to stay on your phone and go, that's great. Your job is to stop, kind of look up, well, what bird? Oh, well, why'd you find that interesting? Oh, what'd you like about that bird? Or, oh yeah, he's cool. What a cool bird. I don't know. Whatever it is, that you sort of bring your attention up and answer the bid in some way. Sometimes, you know, my partner makes a bid and I really am in the middle of something and I can't attend to it in the moment. So I just say that. I say, you know what, that I totally want to sit with you and watch that video or listen to this podcast. Let me finish this. I'll be done in about 20 minutes and I can give you my full attention because I want to give you my full attention. And that generally goes over real well. So, you know, any way that you can sort of respond to the bid in some way that's positive, that's leaning in, that's letting them know you're interested too, this creates those micro connections, that bonding. I talk a lot too about, you know, when when either of you is leaving or coming home. I know in quarantine that's not always the case, but people leave. before you leave the house, in my house, I always kiss my partner before, and he kisses me before we leave the house for any reason. Doesn't matter if it's for 2 minutes to go in the backyard. There's that quick little connection. It's very nice. It's very conscious. It's very thoughtful. And it's a little micro connection of like, hey, hi there. We're together. We're a team. Good to see you. I see you. And obviously when you leave the house, and then when he comes home, I've talked about this a lot, when he comes home, or if I come home and he's already home, we come to the door. We stop whatever we're doing. If I'm cooking something, if he's out, whatever, we just stop what we're doing. It takes a second. We walk to the front door. Sometimes we joke around and like jump up and down like the dogs, like like a golden retriever. And then when we come in, sometimes we make out a little, we kiss, we hug, but there's definitely more than a moment. It's a few seconds, of really connecting and being there with each other. And then we go off and, do whatever else we're doing. But it's that way to really have a micro connection that really says, oh my gosh, I see you, I love you, I'm so glad you're here in my life. So micro connections are huge, and I want you to think about, again, doing them in all the ways. So every day, like a physical one, a kind of spiritual one, and then the emotional one of answering bids, of being involved when your partner asks you something. And really putting away those cell phones. You don't want to be phubbing. You know what? I'll link to that down here too. No phubbing. That if you don't know what that is, you should watch the video on that. That's it for today. I'm Dr. Abby Medcalf. I help people create love, connection, and ease in every single relationship.